Now I ain't even gonna hold you. This is probably gonna be a really quick episode because deep down, I really don't care. If I'm being perfectly honest. And you're probably asking yourself, why are you doing an episode about this whole Deion Sanders situation if you don't really care? And we'll get into that. But before I do, thank you for watching another episode of the 1430 podcast, 1430 show. I don't really even know if this is a podcast for real, but we just go keep it rolling. So, but you tuned in anyway, and that's what I appreciate. So thank you. Also, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it, help the channel grow because your boy is still out here trying to put out this content. And yeah, and your support is definitely greatly appreciated. Also, I got a new beat underneath the video. That's a beat that I made myself that I plan on at some point, making available for other YouTubers and people who make content that don't want to get hit with copyright strikes. I plan on making that available. I'm just trying to figure out the right way to do it. But I wanted to premiere the beat on this video. This would be the music underneath the videos going forward. A lot of my lack of traction is because of the music. I finally figured it out. I couldn't remember exactly. I couldn't figure out why. I thought it was the cussing at the beginning of the video or like dispersed a little bit in the video. But once I contacted YouTube and finally got an answer back, they told me the music was the issue. Apparently, the music that I thought was free to use and I could use without any issues, apparently does have some type of copyright claim that they hit me with, and that's why I couldn't promote my music the way I wanted to. So be on the lookout for that. I plan on making this beat available for everybody to use. Just make sure you give me credit. I don't really need any money for it. Just make sure you give me credit for it. Put it in the video description or whatever. I mean, I'm still working out the details on how exactly I'm going to do this, but yeah, just give me props and you get it for free. So, without all that out the way, let's get on with this Deion Sanders situation. So, a lot of people are upset. I would say a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are giving him props for making the move from Jackson State to Colorado. But there are a lot of people that are very upset and disappointed. And like I said at the beginning, I don't really care for two reasons. One, it's a dude doing what's best for him. A guy that said he was gonna come through to this program, he was gonna make changes, he was gonna change the perspective of HBCU football, being a coach at Jackson State. And as far as I know, he did everything he set out to do. He led the team to 2 undefeated championship seasons. He donated his salary to help fund better facilities. He took the job, which traditionally somebody that's going for a Power 5 coaching job, from what I've been reading, would go to a smaller PWI, make their name there, then get, the big check. But he decided to do that process going to an HBCU instead of a PWI to get, noticed by a Power 5 job. And I don't understand why there's any negative feeling towards it other than you're upset that he's leaving the school after just 2 seasons. I don't really care. I'm not a big football guy. Not ever since the Colin Kaepernick thing, I stopped watching football. I haven't really, I might catch it at a bar or, a family come over and they want to turn on the game. I'll watch it then, but I haven't really been invested in any type of football, college, NFL, none of that, because of the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. It just soured my feelings towards the game, towards the politics, towards all of that stuff. I see everybody like Dallas Cowboy fans, black Dallas Cowboy fans, running to defend Jerry Jones in this photo, but are quick to dump on Deion Sanders for just taking a better job. And another reason why I don't care is that I don't understand, one, how you thought that one guy taking one job, even at the level of a Deion Sanders, was going to make that much of a change. And two, it's just football. It's not like this man isn't moving mountains. He's not, it's not a movement like the civil rights movement or the Black Panther movement or any other movement. You're treating it like this was like a one chance to make like this kind of change. And in reality, I don't really think that that's on the priority list as much as the vitriol that y'all are giving to this man for leaving a black school to go coach at a white school. Oh, what about, him? Like, people try to say he sold Jacksonville the dream. Selling them the dream. He did more for that school in those 2 years than I bet anybody that graduated from Jackson State that has the funds to do so has done in a long time. I mean, I don't know the history of Jackson State, alumni, how, their donations and things like that, contributions or whatever. I don't really know about that. So, hey, there could be somebody that has done a lot more. But just a guy to take a job for significantly less money than he's worth and still cut his salary in half to help the school out because he doesn't need the money. He sacrificed, his money that he was getting from school and gave it back so they could do what they need to do. Like HBCUs, unfortunately don't have the money to keep a Deion Sanders. And like I said, he doesn't need the money, but at the end of the day, you got to go where you're worth. And the unfortunate reality is HBCUs, and I'm an HBCU alumni myself, like are criminally underfunded. The government doesn't give it the funds that a PWI would get, and because of financial constraints. Because I was listening to the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne was asking like, what have you done for HBCUs? And I feel like I don't really subscribe to that as much because yeah, we could all like do what we need to do to help out our struggling historical black colleges. Uh, but at the end of the day, the money just isn't there. Like a lot of people that I graduated with, I know for a fact that they went into a job market that wasn't paying nearly enough to help pay off their debt, let alone their like everyday living expenses. To be in a position where, I can have a good car, I could pay my bills and still have a little extra to maybe give back to my HBCU. A lot of us didn't have that luxury. A lot of us, I mean, there are some of us that are making some good bread that are actually helping out. Like I'm talking about NCCU. I'm an Eagle for life, class 2015. There are a lot of people that are making contributions back to the school, trying to help funding, but it's not enough. But it's a kind of the reality of the economy we live in. The economy that we went in was already bad, and it's even worse now, like 6 years after I've graduated. So I'm not gonna sit here and dog people for not donating because the same problem HBCUs have about getting funding, their graduating students are going into this world and not getting funds to fund their own lives. I can't go back to paying a school that I haven't even paid off my debt to. So that's more of a systemic issue than an issue with alumni. But I mean, I wouldn't doubt that there are alumni and there are people that could contribute more that don't. And I feel like those would be the same people that would dog a Deion Sanders because they don't feel obligated to, help a HBCU, but they're expecting the celebrity to come in and make all of the changes that they could but would not do. And that kind of brings me to the bigger issue that I have with this situation. Because see, I was listening, like I said, I was listening to the Breakfast Club and they were asking callers about, they were asking callers about how they felt about this whole Deion Sanders situation. And a lot of people that were defending Deion Sanders were making excellent points. But there was a clip of a woman, Ashley Charlemagne got a text message from. I'm gonna insert that right here because I can't really do it justice. I'm gonna be real. If I try to do word for word, I'm gonna botch it.
Morning, Unc. I couldn't get through the hotline, but as an HBCU grad, I got to leave my 2 cents. As a culture, we made Deion the HBCU ambassador. Meanwhile, HBCUs like my alma mater, SC State, beat JSU at the Celebration Bowl last year. SC State didn't get any coverage. People are in fear that if we lose the celebrity coach, we'll lose the publicity. Meanwhile, SC State has been drafting football players to the NFL every year with the most players inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. People go where the hype is. We just need people that truly care to support, regardless if a celebrity endorses it.
She said it right there. A school beat their team, beat Jackson State's team when they were led by Deion Sanders, and they got zero coverage. They were never going to get the attention that Deion Sanders got because they didn't have a Deion Sanders coaching their team. And I think that kind of speaks to the bigger issue. I think the issue isn't that Deion Sanders took a bigger job and is abandoning an HBCU. I think it's because you were excited that you had a celebrity. And it's unfortunate because the unfortunate reality is a celebrity coming into a school like that. I don't really know where Jackson State is located, but most HBCUs are located in very poor parts of the neighborhood. Well, a lot of crime and a lot of other BS going on around it. I know that was the same thing with Central in Durham, North Carolina. So I know, and any other HBCU that I've visited has the same kind of conditions surrounding it. So he always talked that people were talking about one guy during the call. I'm not going to put that clip, but he talked about how, he was a positive change in the community. Like he was bringing such a positive change to people's lives, and not just the university, but in the surrounding community. And I think that's dope, but I also think it's kind of sad that one man could leave a job and go work somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, it's just a job. Like this generation has a just F the job type of mentality. Like, fuck this job, I'm quitting. I'm walking out, no 2-week notice, no nothing. And I respect it. I'm the same kind. I got the same mindset. But you can't have that mentality for yourself and just for everyday people, but then turn around and be upset that one guy decided to say, I'm leaving a job and I'm going to another job, regardless of the reason. If it's just, I loved it here, but I got more bread on the table over here, I'm gonna take the bread because at the end of the day, I gotta eat. I really want nice things. I want things that I can't get if I'm still working for this salary at this job. And I don't understand how people look at that situation different, but it's just because he's a celebrity. And if the community is always gonna fall apart when a celebrity decides to take temporary residence at a place in a community, and then if they ever decided to leave for whatever reason, what if Deion got hired to coach for an NFL team? What if Deion decided to go overseas? What if Deion just decided he didn't want to do the job anymore and he was just going to just sit down for the rest of his life because he doesn't need the money? So what if he decided, I'm just going to collect paychecks from sponsorships and commercials and deals and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna chill, do a commercial every couple years and just call it a day? What if he decided to do that? He's not gonna be at Jackson State then. He's not gonna be the coach for your team. He's not gonna be in your community. He's gonna go home. What are you going to do then? And the assumption that just because he doesn't have the job, that because the guy did so much for the school, that he did what he said he was going to do, and he did more than he was asked to do. And so who's to say that he's not going to still contribute to the school? He's not going to still contribute to the community. I think it's just the fact that you can't say that we have a celebrity head coach in our school. And I think this obsession with celebrity in general is what is kind of fueling this hate more than your concern for HBCUs. And I think that's why it like eats at me so much, because I would love for everybody to come together and support HBCUs and like for everybody to be able to contribute. But to expect this one guy's status to carry that when you don't bear any responsibility is what the problem is. It's not the fact that it's Deion Sanders. I promise you, and this is something that's going to take some people off, but I'm going to just say it anyway. I think that if a white former NFL player, let's say Peyton Manning, coach for Jackson State, I think it would have the same type of, not the same type of impact. That's not the right word. I think people would respond to it the same way. Not because it's a black dude swapped out for a white dude, but it's because it's a celebrity that is coaching for a school, for this school. I think it's more about the celebrity of it than the HBCU contributions, in my opinion. Just because when I see people talk about they selling the dream, the guy did everything he said he was going to do, and he always said that he was going to entertain Power 5 coaching job offers. And he did more than what he said he was going to do. He went above and beyond during his time there. What else did he do other than take away his celebrity status from the school? And I feel like that's where the biggest conflict is. I think about, and I'm gonna wrap this up because, like I said, I don't care, so it's gonna be a short one. It kind of reminds me of when Ninth Wonder was teaching at Central. I think he might still teach there. It's been a minute, so I don't really know if he's still there or not teaching. But I remember it was my last year, and I was very upset actually because I'd already had my classes picked out, and I was just ready to get up out of there, and I didn't have any like extra. I didn't have any extra time. Like I had to take the classes I took so I could graduate in May. So I didn't get a chance to take the class. But I promise you, for all the hype around Ninth Wonder coming to teach at Central, I think it was more of we have a celebrity roaming the halls, but a lot of people didn't even know what he taught. Like I could ask somebody right now, they could tell you when Ninth Wonder taught there. You could ask them their interactions with him and stuff like that. You can't even name the course that he taught. And Ninth compared to Deion Sanders, it's kind of like a smaller example, but I feel like, I mean, there were guys showing up on campus that didn't go to Central, that had no interest in Central at all, but were trying to be there to get an opportunity to rap for Ninth Wonder. And to the point of desperation. And I get it, you're trying to live the dream, but just because your dream is to rap for Ninth Wonder, or your dream is to have Jackson State be coached by somebody like Deion Sanders, don't mean you were sold a dream when it doesn't work out the way you thought it would. But that's my time. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm not really that invested. I just thought there was a bigger talking point that needed to be discussed. But make sure, like I said before, you like this video, share, subscribe to the channel, and make sure y'all tune in because my last video of the year will be my top 10 rap albums of 2022. I said in a PSA I posted earlier this week, I'm holding out because Absol got an album dropping on the 16th. I've been waiting 6 years for this dude to drop an album, and I'm not going to do my top 10 list. I mean, I don't know what the album will sound like. I don't know if it's going to be one of my top 10 albums because there was some really great albums that came out this year, but he's one of my favorites of all time. Unashamedly, I'll say that. He's one of my favorites, and I got to give it at least a listen to see where it stacks up with the rest of the year's catalog. So I'm putting it on hold until after the 16th, and I give it a healthy amount of listens. I'm not gonna just jump in and tell you it's the greatest or not the greatest, but So be on the lookout for that before 2022 is over with. But until next time, it's been your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, 1430. Much love.